I wanted to set up some understanding around the type of woman that I've designed this course for and how this relates to you. So I've got a set of characteristics that I believe this course is right for, and I wanted you to just take a moment to have a listen and see how this relates to you. So, like me, and I'm sorry that you're someone that has been exposed to sexual abuse or sexual assault, mental abuse or physical abuse, or some kind of trauma within your childhood or in your adult life. And when those things happened to you, you didn't have an empathetic witness. You didn't have someone there to validate you. You didn't have someone there to tell you it was okay. You didn't have someone there to protect you and pick you up and hug you when you were afraid. And if this happened to you when you're in your childhood, you more than likely didn't have your developmental needs met from your parents or from your significant family that were taking care of you. Another major factor is after you have experienced trauma in your life as a child or teenager, like I did, you create a false self because the psyche can't manage the depth of that trauma that you've experienced, and so you create this wonderful persona that you can hide behind or protect yourself really behind. And behind that persona you live your life. And like me, you have very automatic behaviors, especially when it comes to food and alcohol. So something happens, a trigger happens, and that automatically sets you off to have some kind of irregularity with food and alcohol, binge, like deprive yourself, whatever it is. But there's an event and there's a behavior and then there's a consequence, and it's a repetitive cycle. And like most of us, it's really hard to say that you've got a problem with it because you don't actually understand what the problem is. You don't actually understand how this keeps happening to you. It just is automatic. And you find yourself again doing this stuff, and asking yourself why. So therefore, is it easy to say, I've got a problem? No, it's not. It's really hard to say you've got a problem when you don't know what the problem is. So I would say that you're also someone who doesn't love the mirror, doesn't like what you see. You're someone that hides yourself from people in that you don't share your pain, you don't like talking about it. You like people pleasing, you like making people feel good about themselves because that's actually how you get love. You can't say no to anyone, you're pretty bad with boundaries. And you really generally put everybody else first before yourself. And I would say that your health has been up and down. You are great and then you're not. And it's this sort of repetitive cycle of just little things that niggle at you, or big things like me. You suffer from being hypervigilant. Like you jump really easily, you scare really easily, and you're kind of always really on, like making sure you know what's going on with people. You don't trust people, but then again, you give your trust really quickly and really freely because again, that's how you get love, but then you sabotage it and you actually don't really trust people at all. And you have a really hard time asking for help. And this is horrible, but you cry. You cry a lot. You have those moments when, oh God, it just hits you like you're a train hitting a brick wall. And it's like, oh God. And you do that alone behind closed doors where no one can see you and no one can hear you. Or maybe you might do it somewhere where someone can hear you when you need to cry for help. Because ultimately you feel ashamed, and ultimately you feel a lot of shame about what happened to you and the path that you're on and the path that this took you on and the life that you've had to lead and the things that you've missed out on because of what happened to you. It's tough. It's a really tough place to be.